Hey there, this is a quick video about how I wired this alternator onto my 76 Dodge. You can see on the case there, and nice void warranty thing there, right? Of course. I actually had to grind the case a little bit to get it fit with that stock bracket. I didn't want to tear up that bracket and the whole 9 yards. So at any rate, I just ground it down a little bit so it would fit within there. And I wouldn't have otherwise done this, but one of the things I read online said it would fit without modification, so I'd already bought the alternator and figured why not just go ahead and make it happen. But looking here, this wire I have going to the output post. So on this 3G alternator, your first wire is supposed to run to battery. I could have run it the full length and gotten a direct, positive pole off the battery and gotten a little better signal, but hey, whatever, save a little wire cheating, right? This middle one goes to a half-size spade. So I took a standard spade and kind of cut it up a little bit, made it a little narrower so it would fit well on there and be retained well. So that worked out. And then this on the right, that one there, if you can see what I'm trying to do here, that one on the right is an ignition hot. So what I did here was ran it back this way and trying to not fall over myself here, but I've spliced that to the original hot side of the field connection for the alternator. The other field is just sitting there unused, and I think you can see it. I've zip tied the positive outlet from the old alternator line there. One of the things that is better about laying out your wiring this way, just put a direct line up to your battery. I put an audio style breaker in there just to make sure if I exceed a super amount of current that it would pop there. But it goes from the alternator to that line, through the red, down here onto the solenoid, and then that blue line comes up here and is the positive. Yeah, blue, good positive color there. So anyway, the reason that I used, let's see, or actually I'm getting out of turn here, but I also put an HEI unit on here. I don't really care for the Mopar ignition, and it's nice to be able to go with a fully gapped plug, a full energy ignition, and not have to use that ballast anymore. So right there, I didn't want to cut the harness any more than I had to, so I've just put two jumpers into the two lines that were formerly on the ballast resistor there, and then the original coil positive, which you'll see right here, which was the factory coil positive, I've got running into a little black wire that engages a Bosch relay here. So that's the coil on this Bosch relay, and then when that engages, that will, let's see, connect a fused positive that I've got coming right here and sends power on this line to my ignition coil, and then this here comes back and goes, I'm going upside down, sorry, to the HEI coil there. So still use the original pickup coil in the distributor for the HEI, just extended the wires, and that's why those have the spin on them. Hopefully there's not too much noise, which it's been a really reliable system for me and I love it. There's a couple other places where I've got butt connectors covering the ends of wires, the original system, but as much as possible I tried not to have to cut the original wiring harness there. I'll probably get into it a little bit more once I get things a little more buttoned up and complete on the black truck, but I did fix the black truck charging issue. Just decided, okay, I can either gut it and do something major or try and make the system work. So on the black truck itself, the thing that I think finally made it work, I bought a Mopar brand real voltage regulator, and when I put that in, it worked perfectly. So the other aftermarket ones you get from AutoZone, from O'Reilly's, that kind of thing, I don't know if that was my problem, but I know when I replaced it with a stock Mopar one, that was the key for me. I also rewired the whole system. It was a brand new alternator. I had bypassed the ammeter, which is a popular option. A lot of people will do this here if you haven't seen that before. See how that wire moves right through the bulkhead. The bulkhead is known for voltage drop on these trucks. It's just not the best design. So usually the alternator outlet goes all the way through the firewall to a bunch of splices, goes through the ammeter, and then eventually comes back out and stops down on the solenoid and goes to the battery. So one of the things I like about this is I've got nice full voltage in the cab, and then I've got nice full voltage going to my coil, to any voltage regulation stuff. The charging's coming direct in. You can either run just a solid line, solid wire, or you can run it through a little breaker like I did. Just if you're going to run a solid piece of cable, you got to put a fuse link in. Just make sure you don't end up burning your whole truck up. But yeah, I have a tendency to babble a little bit, but that's kind of the in and out of it. So, you know, hopefully that helps if anyone else is trying to do a little bit of a Frankenstein like this.